For millions of seniors across the United States, managing blood sugar isn't just a medical task. It's a daily responsibility that impacts how they feel, think, and move. As we age, our bodies naturally become less efficient at processing glucose, often leading to conditions like insulin resistance or even type 2 diabetes. While medications and diet play important roles, there's a gentle, powerful tool that's often overlooked, and it doesn't come from a pill bottle or a nutrition plan. It comes from your mat. Yoga. Yoga poses tailored for seniors aren't just about flexibility or relaxation. They can significantly enhance glucose uptake and support overall metabolic health. Through gentle movement, mindful breathing, and sustained postures, yoga encourages the muscles to absorb glucose more effectively, reducing insulin resistance and helping maintain steady energy throughout the day. It also improves circulation, reduces stress hormones like cortisol, and supports better sleep, all of which contribute to healthier blood sugar levels. But more importantly, yoga poses offer something many older adults crave: a sense of empowerment and control. For seniors who may feel overwhelmed by strict diets or discouraged by high-impact exercises, yoga becomes an accessible and nurturing form of movement. It's low-impact, joint-friendly, and easily adaptable for every fitness level. Whether you're a first-timer in your 70s or an experienced practitioner in your 60s, looking for more intentional health benefits. Recent research even supports this gentle approach. Studies published in the Journal of Diabetes Research and Clinical Interventions in Aging confirm that consistent yoga practice improves insulin sensitivity, reduces fasting blood sugar, and promotes glucose uptake at the cellular level. That means the benefits aren't just temporary. They accumulate over time with regular practice. In today's video, we'll walk you through 6 yoga poses that seniors can safely perform at home to enhance glucose uptake and support healthy blood sugar levels. These poses don't require advanced flexibility or long sessions. Each one is chosen specifically for its effectiveness, safety, and ease of integration into your daily life. Whether you've never stepped on a yoga mat before, or you're looking to bring more intention to your current routine, these 6 poses will help you take meaningful steps toward better metabolic health. And if you're managing diabetes, prediabetes, or simply want to maintain balanced glucose levels as you age, this video is for you. Yoga pose number 1. Seated forward bend, Paschimottanasana, stimulating the pancreas and enhancing glucose uptake. Among the many yoga poses that benefit seniors, the seated forward bend, known in Sanskrit as Paschimottanasana, stands out for its unique ability to stimulate the pancreas, the organ responsible for producing insulin. For older adults looking to improve glucose uptake and support their body's natural ability to regulate blood sugar, this pose offers a simple yet profoundly effective starting point. The seated forward bend involves sitting on the floor with legs extended straight ahead, feet flexed, and slowly hinging at the hips to reach toward the toes. Now don't worry, touching your toes is not the goal here. What matters most is the stretch across the back of the legs, the gentle compression of the abdomen, and the deep, mindful breathing that comes with holding the position. Physiologically, this pose does several things that directly support glucose regulation. First, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting a state of calm and balance that helps lower cortisol, the stress hormone that can spike blood sugar levels. Second, the abdominal compression gently massages the pancreas, improving its function and encouraging the efficient production and release of insulin. Third, by engaging the hamstrings and lower back, this pose helps increase muscle activity, encouraging glucose to be pulled from the bloodstream into muscle cells where it can be used for energy. Let's take a look at someone who made this pose part of her daily routine. 72-year-old Elowen Briggs from Lincoln, Nebraska. Elowen had been managing type 2 diabetes for over a decade, relying on a mix of medication and diet. But despite her best efforts, her A1C levels remained stubbornly high. Her daughter, a physical therapist, introduced her to a gentle yoga practice, and the seated forward bend became Eloine's favorite. She began doing it every morning after breakfast, holding the pose for 30 to 45 seconds, focusing on her breath and gradually deepening the stretch. Within just 2 months, Eloine noticed improvements. Her post-meal blood sugar readings began to stabilize, and she felt more grounded and less fatigued during the day. Her doctor confirmed a modest but important drop in her A1C score and praised her for incorporating such a mindful, sustainable practice into her routine. Eloine now calls this pose her morning reset. For her, it's more than just a stretch. It's a way to gently remind her body to stay in balance. The seated forward bend is especially valuable for seniors because it's easily modified. You can use a yoga strap, towel, or belt around the feet to assist the stretch. Or place a folded blanket under your hips to elevate the pelvis and reduce strain on the lower back. There's no need to force or overreach. Just fold forward as far as feels comfortable and breathe deeply into the pose. Even a modest forward bend can stimulate circulation and abdominal activity. To get started, find a quiet space and sit on a soft mat or carpet. Keep your spine tall as you inhale, and as you exhale, slowly hinge forward from your hips, not your waist, allowing your hands to rest wherever they naturally fall, on your shins, ankles, or a strap around your feet. Stay in the pose for 20 to 60 seconds, breathing deeply and allowing your muscles to release tension gradually. Yoga pose number 2, Supine Twist, Supta Matsyendrasana, improving digestive flow and reducing insulin resistance. One of the most powerful yet underrated yoga poses for enhancing glucose uptake in seniors is the Supine Twist, known in Sanskrit as Supta Matsyendrasana. This restorative pose involves lying on your back, drawing one knee across the body while keeping the shoulders grounded, and gently twisting the spine. For older adults, especially those managing blood sugar fluctuations, this twist offers far more than just spinal relief. It helps to stimulate the abdominal organs, improve digestion, and reduce insulin resistance in a safe, calming way. Here's how it works. Twisting postures, like the supine twist, apply gentle pressure to the abdominal cavity. This pressure activates and massages key organs involved in metabolism, including the pancreas, liver, stomach, and intestines. When these organs are gently stimulated, their function improves. In particular, the pancreas becomes more responsive, leading to more efficient insulin production. Meanwhile, improved liver function helps regulate glucose storage and release, critical factors for blood sugar balance. Another key benefit is the reduction of chronic inflammation. Seniors with type 2 diabetes often suffer from systemic inflammation, which worsens insulin resistance and leads to elevated glucose levels. The supine twist encourages lymphatic drainage and blood flow to the core, helping flush out toxins and reduce the buildup of inflammatory compounds in the body. Combined with mindful breathing, this position also lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that interferes with insulin action. Let's look at an inspiring example. Meet 77-year-old Cassidy Morano from Sedona, Arizona. Cassidy had been battling high blood sugar for years, along with occasional constipation and bloating after meals, issues that her doctor said were linked to poor digestive motility. Frustrated with traditional solutions, Cassidy turned to gentle yoga on the advice of her holistic nurse. She began practicing the supine twist every evening before bed, holding the pose for about 1 minute on each side. Within a few weeks, Cassidy noticed smoother digestion, reduced abdominal tension, and more consistent morning blood sugar readings. But perhaps the biggest change came in how she felt emotionally. Cassidy shared that the pose helped her unwind at night, easing tension in both her belly and her mind. She described the sensation as wringing out the day from her spine and gut. On her next doctor visit, Her A1C had dropped below the diabetic threshold for the first time in years. Her physician told her, "Whatever you're doing, keep going." The beauty of the Supine Twist is that it's incredibly accessible for seniors. You don't need advanced mobility or strength. To perform the pose, simply lie on your back with your legs extended. Draw your right knee toward your chest, then guide it gently across your body to the left side, allowing your torso to twist while your right shoulder remains grounded. Extend your right arm out to the side, turn your head to the right if comfortable, and breathe deeply. After 30 to 60 seconds, switch sides. To make this pose even more comfortable, use a folded blanket or cushion under the bent knee to support your spine. If lying flat on the floor is difficult, you can do a modified version in bed with less range of motion. The most important part is the gentle twist and the steady breath. It's not about how far your knee goes, but how relaxed and present you feel in the posture. Yoga pose number 3, cat-cow stretch, Marjaryasan Bithalasana, activating core muscles and boosting cellular glucose uptake. Few yoga poses offer as much dynamic movement and benefit with such little risk as the cat-cow stretch, or in Sanskrit, Marjaryasana, Bithalasana. This gentle flow between two postures helps warm up the spine, engage the core, and stimulate the abdominal organs, all while promoting circulation and insulin sensitivity. For seniors aiming to improve glucose uptake and support long-term metabolic health, this flowing pose is one of the most effective and accessible options. The cow stretch is performed on all fours. With each inhale, you arch the back gently, cow pose, lifting your chest and tilting the pelvis. On the exhale, you round the spine upward, cat pose, tucking the chin and pulling the belly in. This rhythmic movement activates deep core muscles, massages the pancreas, and stretches the muscles that are most involved in daily stability, helping the body use glucose more efficiently. Here's why this is important for glucose uptake. When your core muscles, particularly those in the abdomen, lower back, and pelvic floor, are gently engaged, they become more metabolically active. This increases their demand for glucose, encouraging the body to shuttle sugar from the bloodstream into muscle cells. Over time, this helps reduce blood sugar spikes and improves insulin responsiveness, especially in older adults whose muscles may have grown less responsive due to years of inactivity. The gentle spinal motion also stimulates the vagus nerve, which plays a crucial role in balancing the parasympathetic nervous system. This in turn helps lower stress hormone levels, reduce systemic inflammation, and support better glucose metabolism, 3 major benefits for seniors managing diabetes or prediabetes. Let's meet someone who experienced the power of cat-cow firsthand. 68-year-old Harmon Reed from Eugene, Oregon. Harmon, a retired railroad engineer, was never into yoga or any form of structured exercise really. After being diagnosed with insulin resistance and persistent lower back stiffness, his physical therapist recommended gentle yoga stretches to ease his back while supporting glucose control. Skeptical but curious, Harmon began practicing cat-cow every morning on a padded mat in his living room. He started with just 5 rounds, focusing on slow breaths and mindful movement. Within weeks, he noticed greater flexibility in his spine, less bloating after meals, and a steadier blood sugar pattern throughout the day. Encouraged, he increased to 10 rounds per session and added an evening set before bed. On his next blood work appointment, his doctor was stunned. His fasting glucose had dropped by 12 points, and his waist circumference had decreased by 1.5 inches. But Harmon says the biggest benefit wasn't the numbers, it was the confidence. "I feel like my body is finally working with me again," he shared. "It's a simple movement, but it unlocked something I hadn't felt in years: strength without strain." To perform cat-cow, start on your hands and knees with wrists directly under shoulders and knees under hips. Inhale as you lift your tailbone and head, allowing your belly to drop. This is cow pose. Exhale as you tuck your tailbone, round your spine, and press your hands gently into the floor. This is cat pose. Move slowly, repeating 8 to 10 cycles, breathing deeply with each movement. If getting down to the floor is difficult, you can modify this pose using a sturdy chair or table. Simply place your hands on the surface while standing and mimic the same spinal motions, arching gently with the inhale, rounding with the exhale. The same benefits apply. What matters most is consistency and breath awareness. Yoga pose number 4. Legs up the wall. Viparita Karani. Enhancing circulation and supporting insulin function through gentle inversion. Among the most calming and restorative yoga poses available to seniors, legs up the wall, or Viparita Karani, stands out for its ability to gently reverse blood flow, reduce inflammation, and promote improved glucose uptake. Though it may look deceptively simple, just lying on your back with your legs extended up a wall, this pose has profound benefits for circulation, hormonal balance, and the parasympathetic nervous system. For older adults managing blood sugar, this posture is both deeply relaxing and metabolically supportive. When the legs are elevated above the heart, it encourages venous return, the movement of blood back toward the heart, which helps relieve swelling in the lower limbs, a common issue among seniors with poor glucose control or peripheral insulin resistance. But the benefits go beyond the legs. As blood flow shifts gently toward the core, it helps nourish vital organs, including the pancreas and liver. The passive inversion also reduces cortisol levels, calming the nervous system and enhancing the body's insulin sensitivity. Research has shown that relaxation techniques, especially those involving inversion or recline postures, support better endocrine function. In particular, Viparita Karani has been associated with improved fasting glucose and decreased HbA1c in adults who practice it regularly, as part of a stress-reducing yoga regimen. For seniors, this is especially important because chronic stress is often a hidden contributor to insulin resistance and high blood sugar. This pose offers a powerful yet soothing way to interrupt that cycle. Let's explore the story of 74-year-old Brexton Vaughn from Albany, New York. After years of juggling multiple medications for type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and neuropathy, Brexton found himself exhausted and discouraged. His sleep was poor, his legs were swollen, and his blood sugar remained unstable. His daughter, who practiced yoga, encouraged him to try a restorative pose before bed. Skeptical but open-minded, Brexton gave legs up the wall a chance. He began with 5 minutes each evening, positioning his legs comfortably against a wall with a folded blanket under his hips for support. He focused on slow nasal breathing and allowed his body to fully relax. Within 2 weeks, he noticed a difference. His legs felt lighter, he slept more soundly, and his morning blood sugar readings began to trend downward. After 2 months, Brexton was up to 10 minutes per session and reported not only better numbers, but also a stronger sense of calm and control over his condition. "Everything used to feel like a battle," he said. "But this pose, it doesn't fight the body. It helps it remember how to work right." To perform Viparita Karani, find a quiet space with a clear wall. Sit sideways with your hip touching the wall, then gently swing your legs up as you lie back on the floor or on a yoga mat. Your body should form an L shape, with your hips close to the wall and your legs resting vertically. If your hamstrings feel tight, slide your hips slightly away from the wall or place a bolster under your lower back. You can also bend the knees slightly or place a cushion under them for extra comfort. Once in position, close your eyes, rest your hands beside your body or on your belly, and focus on slow, deep breathing. Stay in the pose for 5 to 10 minutes, or longer if comfortable. Be sure to come out slowly, bend your knees, roll to one side, and rest for a moment before sitting up. For seniors, legs up the wall can become a cornerstone of their daily routine, not just for blood sugar control, but for mental well-being and better sleep. It's especially effective when practiced in the evening, helping to reset the body after a day of sitting, eating, or emotional stress. And because it's low risk and deeply supportive, it can be safely done even by those with limited mobility, so long as getting down to the floor is manageable. Yoga pose number 5, Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, building muscle engagement to drive glucose into active tissues. For seniors aiming to improve glucose uptake, one of the most powerful strategies is to engage the large muscle groups, especially those in the legs, hips, and core. Warrior 2, or Virabhadrasana 2, is a standing yoga pose that does exactly that. While it may appear majestic and steady on the outside, internally it's driving blood flow, activating muscle fibers, and significantly increasing the demand for glucose in the very tissues where insulin sensitivity tends to decline with age. Unlike passive or seated poses, Warrior 2 requires muscular endurance. As you hold the pose, your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and abdominal muscles remain engaged, continuously signaling the body to supply energy to these working areas. This demand triggers the uptake of glucose from the bloodstream into the muscles, lowering blood sugar levels and supporting long-term metabolic function. Additionally, when performed regularly, Warrior 2 can help increase lean muscle mass, which in turn improves insulin sensitivity over time. The pose also improves balance and joint stability, two major concerns for older adults. Because of its wide stance and grounded nature, Warrior 2 strengthens the stabilizing muscles around the hips and knees, helping reduce fall risk while simultaneously supporting cardiovascular and metabolic health. And let's not overlook the mental benefits. The open chest and strong arms create a posture of confidence, courage, and self-belief, qualities that are often just as important as physical health on the journey of aging well. Let's meet someone who discovered the power of Warrior 2 in her own journey. Madeline Sloan, a 70-year-old retired landscape designer from Missoula, Montana, had always prided herself on staying active. But after turning 68, she noticed her fasting blood sugar creeping up, her energy declining, and her muscles feeling weaker. Her physician warned that she was entering the pre-diabetic range and encouraged her to adopt a strength-focused exercise routine. That's when Madeline found a senior yoga class at her local wellness center. Warrior 2 quickly became a favorite. Though she struggled to hold the pose at first, her instructor encouraged her to stay with it, just 15 to 20 seconds on each side, gradually building up. Over time, Madeline could hold the pose for over a minute with steady breath and form. She practiced 3 times a week, and within 4 months, she had not only dropped her fasting glucose levels by nearly 20 points, but she also felt stronger in her hips and steadier on her feet during daily walks. It was the first time I felt like I was challenging my body in a way that was healthy, not harsh, she said. I wasn't just trying to burn calories, I was teaching my body how to work better. To perform Warrior 2, start in a wide stance, feet about 3 to 4 feet apart. Turn your right foot out 90 degrees and your left foot slightly in. As you exhale, bend your right knee until it's directly over your ankle, forming a strong lunge. Raise your arms parallel to the floor, reaching one forward and one back, palms facing down. Gaze over your right fingertips. Your torso remains upright, shoulders relaxed but strong. Hold the pose for 30 to 60 seconds, breathing steadily, then switch sides. If balance is a concern, stand near a wall or chair for support. You can shorten your stance or bend the front knee less deeply to modify the intensity. Even a less pronounced version of the pose still activates the key muscles and delivers the metabolic benefits. Warrior 2 is particularly effective because it not only demands glucose-fueled muscular work, but also opens up the hips, stretches the groin, and encourages a grounded connection to the earth. A physical and symbolic reminder of strength through steady presence. For seniors, it's a pose that says, I'm here, I'm capable, and I'm in control. Yoga pose number 6, reclining bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana, restoring balance and supporting glucose uptake through deep relaxation. To complete this gentle but powerful series of yoga poses for seniors, we turn to a deeply restorative posture, reclining bound angle pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana. While it may appear passive, this pose plays an essential role in the overall goal of improving glucose uptake by supporting endocrine balance, reducing cortisol, and allowing the nervous system to shift from stress mode into healing mode. For older adults, especially those living with chronic stress, fatigue, or blood sugar instability, this pose is a sanctuary of calm and metabolic reset. Here's how it works. When we lie back with the soles of the feet together and the knees gently open to the sides, the body enters a state of passive openness. This position creates a gentle stretch in the inner thighs, groin, and abdominal wall, stimulating blood flow to the pelvic region and pancreas. But the most significant benefit lies in what this pose does to the nervous system. It activates the parasympathetic branch, commonly known as the rest and digest system, which helps to reduce cortisol levels, lower blood pressure, and enhance insulin sensitivity. Research consistently shows that relaxation-based yoga poses improve glycemic control by influencing hormonal balance. High levels of chronic cortisol are linked to increased glucose production by the liver and impaired insulin response in muscle and fat tissues. Supta Baddha Konasana offers a counterbalance to these effects. In just 10 to 15 minutes per day, this pose can help turn down the volume on the stress response and create an internal environment more favorable for efficient glucose metabolism. Let's meet someone who found healing in this quiet posture. 75-year-old Orion Tisdale from Dayton, Ohio. Orion was a retired architect who had spent most of his life in high-stress environments, often skipping meals and pushing through deadlines. After retirement, he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and began experiencing fatigue, anxiety, and difficulty managing his blood sugar levels despite taking medications. A friend suggested he try a restorative yoga class at his community center. At first, Orion was skeptical. He thought yoga was just stretching, but his instructor introduced him to Supta Baddha Konasana on the very first day. With a bolster behind his back, cushions under his knees, and a folded blanket over his belly, Orion laid back into the pose and simply focused on his breath. What he expected to be a simple stretch turned out to be a profound experience. For the first time in months, he felt his nervous system settle. He practiced the pose nightly before bed, using soft music and dim lighting to enhance the relaxation response. After several weeks, Orion began noticing a shift. His fasting blood sugar started to drop, his sleep improved, and he felt more emotionally balanced. At his next endocrinologist visit, his A1C was significantly better, and his physician remarked that his progress had outpaced that of many patients on more aggressive treatment plans. Orion credited the pose, saying, "It wasn't just that my body calmed down, my mind did too, and somehow everything started working better." To practice reclining bound angle pose, find a quiet space and lie on your back. Bring the soles of your feet together and allow your knees to fall open, forming a diamond shape with your legs. Support the knees with cushions or yoga blocks to avoid strain. If desired, place a bolster or folded blanket under your spine for gentle chest opening and another folded blanket under your head. Rest your hands on your belly or to your sides, palms facing up. Close your eyes and focus on slow, steady breathing. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts, exhale for 6. This extended exhale pattern further encourages the relaxation response. Stay in the pose for 10 to 15 minutes or longer if comfortable. You may choose to use this time for guided meditation or simply rest in silence. Supta Baddha Konasana is a powerful reminder that not all healing happens through action. Sometimes, the deepest transformation occurs in stillness. For seniors seeking better blood sugar control, emotional regulation, and a calmer end to their day, this pose offers a meaningful and sustainable solution. It can easily be practiced before sleep or after a stressful moment to help recenter the body and mind. As we wrap up today's journey through 6 carefully selected yoga poses, one thing becomes abundantly clear. Improving glucose uptake doesn't always require strenuous workouts, strict diets, or complex routines. Sometimes it simply begins with a breath, a stretch, and a few moments of intention. For seniors across the United States, Canada, Australia, and other parts of the world, these poses offer more than just physical movement. They offer a pathway toward balance, resilience, and metabolic health. Each of the poses we explored today, whether it's the strength of Warrior 2, the release of Supine Twist, or the deep calm of reclining bound angle pose, was chosen for its ability to support glucose metabolism in a gentle, sustainable way. These movements activate muscle groups, stimulate vital organs like the pancreas and liver, improve circulation, and calm the nervous system. Together, they create a holistic system that encourages your body to use glucose more effectively, reducing blood sugar spikes and promoting long-term insulin sensitivity. But perhaps just as importantly, these yoga poses offer something seniors often value deeply: autonomy. The power to take charge of your health in a way that honors your body, respects your limitations, and meets you exactly where you are today. Whether you're practicing on a mat, on your bed, or beside a sturdy chair, yoga invites you to be present with yourself, to move with care, breathe with awareness, and listen with compassion. And the benefits extend far beyond glucose control. As you practice these poses, you may notice improvements in sleep, digestion, energy, and emotional balance. You may feel more grounded in your body, more confident in your daily movements, and more in tune with what your body needs. For many older adults, these changes represent a profound shift from managing symptoms to cultivating wellness. The key, as always, is consistency. You don't need to practice all 6 poses every single day. Start with 1 or 2 that feel accessible and build from there. Even 5 to 10 minutes of yoga done daily can create meaningful change over time. And remember, there's no such thing as doing it perfectly. What matters most is that you show up, breathe, and give your body the opportunity to heal and respond. If you found this video helpful or feel inspired to try even one of these yoga poses for seniors, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear how yoga is becoming a part of your glucose management journey. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to ActiveHealthCare, and share this with a friend or loved one who might benefit from a little more movement and balance in their life. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep breathing, keep moving, and keep choosing wellness, one pose at a time.